What's up guys, Alberto Big Boost here. Today we're going to be working on the Nissan Skyline. As you guys know, this is a really popular car among Adam's cars. This is the R32, 600 horsepower, little R32 with a RB25, RB26 look-alike kind of engine. I don't know what that is. That's like some weird sound on the AC across the parking lot over there. Today we're gonna be installing the Baffle kit on the RB26 valve covers. I don't know if you guys already seen it on Adam's other videos that our Skyline is producing a lot of blow-by, so we're trying to fix the issue stage by stage. We're gonna be installing the best Baffle kit available on the market for the RB26 covers. But first I have to get the car out of the lift. I was removing the axles from the car the other day because Adam may have broken both axles at the same time trying to launch the car, the drag strip. So that like didn't end up very well. This is the aftermatch of the axle, which is cut straight clean. This is impressive, actually very impressive that I managed to just cut both axles like this right off the launch. So that means this car is packing a lot of power and grip. So let's get this car back on the floor and let's get to work. Ah, so handy, has a level on the same side. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about this engine. So this is a RB25, not a 26. We're using RB26 covers since they have a lot better baffling. Also, they have like really good looks. You can tell it's RB25 because it has a variable valve timing gear. So we have to make a little hole on the front cover for the gear to stick out. So yeah, this is spinning. Do not touch this while engine is on. Our crankcase ventilation system, we have two -10 lines. They're running into a Vibrant Performance -10 inlet oil catch can. So we have the catch cans down there, but we're having an issue where it's still filling up the catch can. So we need to upgrade the baffling inside the valve covers even more than the stock RB25 baffles. That's where these come in. So these are gonna go inside. Plus they also have this sponges, also help separate the oil from the gases. The reason why we're having a lot of crankcase ventilation issues with this engine is because the ring gap on these pistons is set to very loose. That way we have less of a chance of destroying pistons or breaking ring lengths. So you have to sacrifice making the engine a little loose than tight. That way it lasts a little bit longer, but then you have to address other things to compensate for their excessive ring gap. You have to then do better baffling or have a bigger catch can or something to address the excess blow-by. If you're wondering why we're having so much blow-by, it's because we're feeding about 30 psi with this beautiful Garrett GTX 3071R turbo, supplying tons of boost and power into this mean RB25. Also has a really nice racing plenum from Rob Rockage, and it has 3-inch intercooler piping, 2.5 on the other side, dual wastegates, and full 3-inch exhaust. And last but not least, a full Ditchworks fuel system. So we have Ditchworks injectors, fuel rail, regulator. We have also some other fittings. We have Vibrant Performance lines and fittings. It's also cooled by yours truly, Mishimoto, same radiator that I'm also running on my E36. I wouldn't trust anything else with it. And Adam is also running this massive 4-inch intake and filter from AEM to make this cool turbo noises. Well, let's get to work. So I'm setting up the camera. So I'm gonna be removing the valve covers now to get started with the process. I'm gonna start off by removing the oil catch can lines. These are -10s. I'm using a 26mm wrench for these. All right, move these out of the way. Tuck them to the side. Then I'm also going to have to remove the turbo heat shield. Let's move this out of the way like this. Now I have room to access the bolts on the side right here. It's gonna be a bit difficult trying to read this instruction since I have no idea what it says. And I don't have no idea what the pictures mean either by these highlighted parts. So I'm gonna have to do some research. Luckily, we have technology, so I found the instructions in English through the Mine's website. So it pretty much telling me that I gotta move the cam cap baffle plates from cylinder from the cap 3 and 4 into 6 and 7, and then also it's telling me that I gotta put silicone on the highlighted red line. So apparently this just seals the whole cover. So let's get started with this stuff. Now I know what I need to do. We have number 4 Allen bolts on these. So I'm gonna use a T-handle wrench to get all of these bolts off. I guess I'll do a little time lapse to get these off. There's gonna be a lot of them. Let's go ahead and pull these things off. Here we go. Both valve covers are out. Now, before I start on the valve covers itself, I'm gonna move this baffle plates. They need to be moved all the way to the back to 6 and 7. So I just gotta replace them from here all the way to the back. Let's do that first. We're removing these camshaft caps. I'm gonna do one at a time. So I'm gonna remove the first one first. Even though it doesn't really matter because well, actually, alright, we need to first remove the 2 nuts holding the cap in place. It also, oh great, it fell. It hit the floor. I heard it hit the floor, yes. Now, hold the 2 washers. Has washer here, washer here. I'm gonna put these aside. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the other one as well. Then I'll show you guys why it has to be one at a time. Take this nut out of here. So slick. The oil that we're running in this thing is so slick. It makes it very difficult to like hold the little nut without it just falling down. Alright, washers. Put the plate over here. Now that I got the baffles out, you can tell that the bolts holding the actual cap are studs on the top part. So I need to replace these bolts with the bolts on the caps on the back. So I need to remove these 2, well, these 4 bolts to these 2 back here. I gotta do the same thing on the intake side. I'm gonna do 1 bolt at a time. Alright, got that one loose. Loosen this one, then we're gonna swap them. Also has a washer, make sure you don't lose it. Then I'm gonna replace bolt with no stud to bolt with stud back here. we're basically gonna repeat the same process on the R2. Alright, now I got one, so you can tell now we have bolt and stud back here. Let's go ahead and remove the other ones. I'm gonna do a little time lapse on that too, to not bore you guys with the super long intervals of mechanics. Now I can put these covers back here. So this one's gonna go on this one like this, and then this one's gonna go over here like this. And of course the washer had to fall to the floor. Alright. You got big washer, then you have the pressure washer, and the nut. Same thing on this one, and the nut. I really hope that this fixes the issue with the baffling. Other than this, I think next stage will be to actually add a drain to the catch can back into the oil pan to recycle the oil that's getting spit out of the engine. But that's definitely gonna be a lot of work. This nut dropped earlier. I had to get it with a magnet because it fell where the head stud bolt goes. I mean, where the head stud goes. Why did I say stud and then I say bolt? That makes no sense. And I have to use two hands holding these little nuts because they are very slippery. Let's go ahead and tighten these up. I just need to repeat the same thing on the other side. Baffle plates are now installed into the desired configuration, which is now caps 7 and 8. Now we can go ahead and move to the valve covers. I already set up this nice work area where I'm gonna modify these with the new Mines valve cover baffles. So let's get started with that. Let me position my camera and let's get to work. Here is what the inside of the RB26 valve cover looks like. So this is a stock baffle plate. It has 8 bolts on there, and then it has a little mesh right here. I gotta see what else is inside once I remove the plate. Here we go. Now inside this valve cover, you'll notice it has like this mesh packs that we're no longer gonna be using, and then it has this part over here which we're also not gonna be using with more mesh. Now it's a hollowed out RB26 cover. Be sure to remove as much of the old silicone as you can to get a clean surface, because you're gonna have to use silicone again on a new baffle to seal it up. I've already cleaned most of it, so I'm gonna spray with a little brake cleaner, clean off the excess oil. That way the new silicone will adhere properly. Well, this looks a lot better now. I removed all the silicone, so now it's ready for the new baffles. Here we have the valve cover all cleaned up, and then we have 4 of these sponges. So basically, we're just gonna like wedge this sponge all the way at the end, so it's like flush with the frame here, and then we're gonna wedge the other one in this spot as well. So it's basically gonna look like this. Then the plate has this little lip right here, so it's basically gonna hold everything in place. And then you line it up like that. But before we can assemble this, we need to put silicone sealant all over this edge right here, so it seals the plate and it doesn't have any like oil seeping through the sides. Here I have Permatex Ultra Gray. It got a little crushed, so I don't mind the appearance of it. Then we also have to add silicone on all this edge right here.
Yeah, that's what I think about this to the air. So we can put that there. The fins are not really breathing very well.
And we're gonna secure this with the bolts.
These coils operate at a way higher than RB coils would handle, or even like split fires, the gas and like that.
And voila, we have the new baffle perfectly installed, ready to go. The intake size valve cover is already done. Now we're moving on to the exhaust side. So it's pretty much repeating the same process. Start off by removing the plate, remove the baffles, clean all the silicone out, clean all the valve cover internals, and then apply silicone sealant to the outer part, like the outer rim of that thing. And then also it needs to get silicone all the way around the seam, and then install it with the foams. Just look at all the trash that came out of the valve cover. So we got the valve covers done, and this is just trash, so fold this over. Now I need to address the engine. So I need to clean the old silicone excess off. You always gotta put silicone on these corner, and then where the half moon goes in the back. So I gotta clean the back silicone over there, put new silicone, the half moon, then put silicone in the front, and then replace the valve cover. I went ahead and applied a little bit of silicone on each corner. So each of these corners has silicone. Also the back part has a little bit of silicone on top of the half moons, and the valve cover is ready to go. I had mistakenly put this baffle plate backwards, and this part was literally on the edge where the valve cover sits, and it wouldn't let me put the valve cover on. So now they're all straight, so now I can put the valve covers on. Now it's time to put all the bolts in a cool time lapse. All it needs is one final touch. That's more like it. Definitely looking like a really nice RB26 now. There's one last thing that I need to do before ending this video, and that's obviously starting it up. Let's see what this thing sounds like. It sucks I can't really test for blow-by because we can't test the car since it has both broken axles. But once we replace the axle, we'll definitely take this thing for a spin. Checking for leaks. I gotta make sure there's no oil leaks. This is the perfect time to check for them. Everything looks pretty good over here. It's good. Well guys, that concludes the valve cover baffle installation. By the way, these are the Mines triple flow valve cover baffles. These are the best you can get on the market for these engines, so hopefully these things will provide the results that we're looking for. Have you guys noticed one very peculiar thing? Every time you have a specific car at the shop, for some reasons always more of the same car spawn at the shop, no matter how rare or weird the car might be. So we got an R32 Skyline, and we move over here, I know we have another R32 Skyline. So Tommy dropped off his car. I might be doing a few things on the car later this week. So if I do, I will be recording that and show you guys a couple of videos with Tommy's car, which is the slower version of Adam's car. No, his car is actually pretty cool, but my E36 is faster. Tommy, yes, my E36 is faster than the Skyline. I admit it. You know that E36 are better. Everybody's gonna hate on me now, and I'm just kidding. It's a thing that me and Tommy always do for fun, but we're just having fun with this stuff. But Tommy, if you're watching this, the E36 is faster than your R32 Skylines. If you want, we can go drift right now. We can go have some fun. Well, thank you guys for watching. Please smash that like button and subscribe for more awesome and technical videos.